Hi guys. So April Come She Will, the Simon and Garfunkel song. This is the 6-string finger picking tab, and I'll send you the video of the guy who's done the tab, because he's got a video on YouTube. So I'll put that on the chat as well. So first of all, we've got the D shape taken up to. We've got capo on fret 1. Then we've got the D shape taken up to the 7th fret, okay, in relation to the capo, of course. So actually it's the 8th fret, but in relation to the capo, 7th. And then with your picking hand, your thumb is going to take care of bass notes. So because this is a type of D chord, it's G/D, which is G over D. Anyway, your thumb is going to take care of the open D string on the picking hand, yeah, and your first 3 fingers are going to be assigned to the top 3 strings. So first finger will take care of the G string, second finger will take care of the B string, and third finger will take care of the top E string. And in that first bar, so this just stays, your fretting hand just stays making this D shape, and the picking hand, we've got a pluck with the thumb and third finger on the D and top E strings. Then the first finger plucks the G string. Then we've got a pluck with the thumb and second finger plucking the B string. And then we've got the first finger plucking the G string and the thumb plucking the open D string. Okay, that rhythm I won't try and count it right now because it's gone out of my mind, but that's the rhythm of it. 1 and 1 E and 1 E and a 2, 1 E and a 2 E and 1 E and a 2 E and 1 E and a 2 E and 1 E and a 2 E and. Okay, so that's the rhythm of that bar. The rhythm of the second bar, much easier. Just 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and even, yeah, even notes, even note length, note lengths, and that is pretty much the same thing with this hand, except the second finger comes off, just like a D sus2 chord. Second finger comes off the top E string, so you've got an open top E string, and you've got a pluck with the thumb and third finger, single note with the first finger, pluck with the thumb and second finger, and then single note with the first finger. Let's just get it that way a bit. Okay, so these are the first 2 bars. I'll do that again. And once more. Now the third bar is exactly the same as the first bar, and then the fourth bar is almost exactly the same as the second bar, except instead of a pluck on the third beat, you've just got the open D string. So rather than in the second bar, yeah, where you had a note on the B string, 8th fret. So those third and fourth bars on the first line, and if I put all 4 bars together, first 4 bars, let's see. Then you move on to the second line. 5th bar and 6th bar are exactly the same as the first 2 bars. Yeah. Then you got a variation. Then it goes to a D, and it's this shape. So you can see I've got my first finger on the 5th fret in relation to the capo. Let's get the capo in there a bit. On the top E string. third finger on the 7th fret of the B string, and second finger on the 7th fret of the G string. And what that is, it's the top part. It's the top part of a A-shaped bar chord, yeah. But we're just using those top 3 strings. I mean, we're just taking the top 3 strings from that shape, and we've still got an open D string, and we've got a pluck with the. That's the rhythm of it. And we've got first of all we've got a pluck with the thumb and 3rd finger on the top E string. Then a pluck with the thumb and 2nd finger. Then it's got 0, 0, and that'll be your first finger on the G string and your thumb on the D string. And that's when that'll be open strings, because he's travelling from this shape here all the way down to this shape here, which is the next bar, which is a G. So we've got, and then you get to a G shape. You're going to do your G shape like this: 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the low E string, and little finger on the 3rd fret of the top E string. And that bar So that's the last bar on the 2nd line, yeah? And that's the rhythm of it. And the thumb's taking care of the bass notes, so E string, then open D string. The 3rd finger plucks the top E string. The 1st finger plucks the G string. And the thumb plucks the open D string again. Then you're on the 3rd line, and bar 9, and you've got C/G, C over G, and then G. And when you do this, the rhythm's easier. It's just 1 and 2 and. So going with the bars 5, 6, 7, 8, bars 8 and 9. Once again. And when you do that bar 9, you can see that I'm keeping the shape of the G, yeah, because it's a C over G chord and then a G chord again, so I'm going to let these 2 notes ring out as long as possible. I'm not going to take them off and do the next bar. I'm going to keep them on so that I get as big a sound as possible. So that's up to bar 9. Bar 10, bar 10. Now, bar 10 has a slightly different rhythm, and you see him in the video go which is a bit of a mouthful, so to speak, or a bit of a fingerful. It's what I would do. So bar 10, that's the 2nd bar of the 3rd line. What I would do, you don't have to do this, you can do what he does, which is basically thumb gets the bass note, 3rd fret, low E string, 1st finger, as always, getting the G string, because the 3 fingers are applied to the top 3 strings, so 1st finger G string, 2nd finger B string, and 3rd finger top E string. So we got now, by all means do that, just take it slow at first. So thumb, 1st finger, 3rd finger, 1st finger, thumb, 2nd finger, 1st finger, So all that should be obvious which digits to use, as long as you know that the thumb is doing the bass notes, that is the lowest 3 strings, the E, A and D string. come back, and like I said, the 3 fingers are taking care of the top 3 strings, yeah, the thin 3 strings, G, B and top E. So you've got this 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. It's quite difficult to play though. So what I do, I find that a lot easier. Maybe I shouldn't do it, but I find that a lot easier. It doesn't make a hell of a lot of difference. You see him in the video play this, and he stumbles a bit on it, just a little bit, because it's really difficult to play. So what I'm leaving out, my version is, I play the thumb, yeah, 3rd fret low E string, and then the next note, which is the open G string, I'm not going to play. I'm just going to leave that out, and I'm going to go directly to that top E string, 3rd fret, and then the other notes, okay? So instead of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, I've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I hope that helps. Okay, then the next bar, bar 11, 3rd bar along on the 3rd line, we've done before, yeah? It's the C over G and the G, and the timing's easy. 1 and 2 and even length for each of the notes. Then you've got the verse. And we've done that rhythm before in the bar directly above it on the page, yeah? It's the last bar on the 2nd line. So 1, 1, 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 E and a 2 E and 1 E and a 2 E and. Whichever way you count it. The main thing, most people don't count it and just listen and yeah, get the rhythm from that. Okay, so the verse starts, and that first bar we've done the rhythm before. Then the next bar, easy timing, just something slightly different to what we've had. We've got a pluck with the thumb and 3rd finger, then open G string, then the C over G, and then open G string. So those 2 bars together, the first 2 bars of the verse. And then you got that bar of G again, exactly the same pattern. And then we've got this pattern again, the C over G and the G, which we've done before, for instance in the bar directly above it on the page. Okay, then last bar of the first page. Now, that bar is pretty much, you know the bar that I said about I would leave out that 2nd note? This is what this current bar is doing. The last bar on the first page is doing what I said about the previous bar, bar 10, when I said it's a bit of a handful to put in that 2nd note, and so you could leave it out and just go, and that's the rhythm we've got here on the last bar of the first page. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 E and a 2 E and. So, the verse so far on that first page, okay? And then, so these phrases are like 2 bars long, yeah? You kind of. That's 2 bars, and that kind of finishes a phrase. Just this, by itself, feels like it's hanging and it needs resolution, and there's the resolution. So, and the first bar of the 2nd page is that resolution. And then the second bar of the second page, you can see is A minor. So now we have something, now we have a new chord progression at least, yeah? A minor, next bar, A sus2 over G, F major 7, E minor, okay? That's, what we've done so far is pretty much the whole song except this bit that we're going to do now, this descending bit. I'm talking a bit broadly, but that's pretty much it. So we've gone on for about 15 minutes here, and if you can bear that, you've pretty much got the whole song. So let me just, oh bugger, it's getting dark. Okay, I hope this is okay. So we're on the second bar of the second page, and we've got, yeah, and this is just Travis picking, yeah? The whole thing is based around Travis picking, but it's more sophisticated Travis picking than a lot of people do, because he's using his third finger in that introduction and in the verse. Here on that A minor, we don't need the third finger at all, because the top E string's not being used, and we've just got on A minor, pluck. Yeah. So as long as you remember that thumb is going to take care of any notes on the E, A and D strings, and the fingers will take care of any notes on the top three strings, yeah? First finger for the G string, second finger for the B string, third finger for the top E string. As long as you remember that, when you look at this tab, you'll know which digits to use for the picking. So that's on the A minor. Then we've got A sus2 over G. So the first finger comes off the B string, the little finger goes on to the low E string, third fret. Nice. Then for that F major 7, the first finger goes back on the B string, first fret, and if you can, the thumb goes over the top and gets that bass note. So we've got the A minor, the A sus2, and the F major 7. We've got and I'm emphasizing 1 and 2. I'm emphasizing the and of 2, yeah? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2. Yeah? Because he does it in the song. So if you can't do that F major 7 with the thumb over the top, let's see, what can we do? Well, you can fret the F major 7 in the typical, you know, or in the sort of whatever, more jazz way. I mean, which without using the thumb is fingers 2, 3 and 4 make an A minor shape, and the first finger frets the low E string. But it would be a shame if you can work on the thumb going over. See if you can get that. I mean, don't worry if you can't. You'll have to just move to that shape. But the whole thing about this chord progression, and I know that's difficult, you maybe heard then I didn't quite get it at first, and especially with the capo can get in the way, but just keep working on it, and over the months and years it'll come. And it's very useful because, as you can see, my hand really didn't have to move much at all, and the middle two fingers were anchor fingers. And then when you get to the E minor, which is the first bar on the second line, second page, so bar 20, yeah, again same picking pattern, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, just really straightforward Travis picking with a pluck at the beginning of the bar. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, okay? And as you see, my hand again didn't move much. I just took the third finger off, and my second finger stayed there on the second fret of the D string as an anchor. Then the next bar, the third finger comes back into things on the picking hand and plucks that top E string, while the thumb plucks the bottom E string. So we're on the second line, second bar, and then we've got a C. Same pattern, same finger picking pattern, simple Travis, simple Travis, with a pluck, on the first beat, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and puts the and in there, and the D at 11 is just a C shape moved up the neck 2 frets. So we've got and then third line, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, bit of a departure, 1 and 2 and 3, 4. So we've got a G, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, or 1E and a 2E and, whichever way you count it, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So the only movement I got there on my fretting hand is from third finger to second finger for those 2 frets, third fret, second fret, and then we're on an E minor again, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and you can either fret, I just moved that finger down there, that second finger which I had on the fretboard, but you can make the whole E minor shape. And those 2 bars of E minor, we've played the exact same thing in the second line. Then we have A minor again with the same pattern that we've played before. Then an E minor with the same pattern. A minor with the same pattern. So now I'm on the last line, and we got an E minor in the third bar of the last line, which is just repeating what we've done before. That very last bar of the second page, it's a bit different. We've got 1 and 2 and 3, 1 and 2 and 3, 4. So the timing's really easy, it's just straight 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Each note has an even length of time. So if I play that last line of the second page, the 4 bars on the bottom line. Oops, sorry. And obviously the thumb, because it's on the bass strings, is going to take care of those notes. Third page. Is that the third page? Yes, third page. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So again, a pattern that we've had before. Let's see, just check that. Yeah, that pattern, exactly the same as we've had on the first page, the first bar of the verse on the first page. So I'm on page 3 now, first bar. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Then on the second bar, we got something a bit different. The third finger stays where it is. We've got this C over G, but instead of just a pluck and a single note, we've got the pluck and then 2 notes. So first finger takes the open G string, plucks the open G string, thumb plucks the D string, second fret. And the timing is 1 and 2, and then you've got for the rest of the bar. So 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3, 4. So if I put those 2 bars together, the first 2 bars of the third page, okay, and the third bar, we got that timing again, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay. So that's the top line of page 3. You'll see a repeat sign, and it's the last half of a repeat sign, or they're like bookends repeat signs. So with this repeat sign, the 2 dots are on the left of the thin and thick line, and that means, okay, so now I go back and I look for the mirror image, and where is it? It's on page 1 where the verse starts. Well, that makes sense, because we've been through a verse, and that section of the verse. That bit, that chord progression. So rather than write the whole thing out again, like a bit of page 1, all of page 2 and the top of page 3, they just put this repeat sign in on the top of page 3. That takes you back to page 1 where it says verse, yeah, and there you'll see the mirror image of the repeat sign. So you go back to that and play the whole thing again. Then when you get to the whole thing again up to page 3, up to the repeat sign at the top of page 3, then when you get to that, yeah, then you just carry on through it and you go on to the second line of page 3 where it says verse, and then we've got the same patterns again. So that whole second line of page 3 we've played before, and now I'm on the third line of page 3. We've played those 2 bars before, and here comes this chord progression again, and we've played it before, the A minor, the A sus2 over G, and the F major 7 and the E minor. So that's sorry, I got that bar wrong. Okay, so there he puts in the and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, which unless I'm mistaken he didn't do before, but it just means it's the and of beat 4, so your first finger is picking that G string. And he puts the and in on the F major 7 as well. Not on the E minor, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Yeah, so we've done all that before. Last bar of page 3 is a C, which we've done before. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Simple traverse, just to pick at the beginning of the bar. Just remember, looking at this tab, yeah, as long as you know that the thumb, like I said, I know the light, I mean the picture just went blank then, so as long as you know, as if to make a comment on my just being about to repeat myself, but as long as you remember that thumb takes care of the 3 bass strings and the fingers take care of the 3 top strings, yeah, the 3 thinner strings, treble strings, then you're going to know when you look at, say, like, oh, D string, 2nd fret, well that's going to be the thumb, yeah, whether it's a C chord or an E minor chord, yeah? So that's the last bar of page 4. It's going to go up to a D. This time the D is just a D shape rather than a C shape moved up. So we've got, now well, there must have been a reason for that. Having just said what I said, when you get to the D, the thumb, because we don't have enough room, yeah, because D is just a 4-string chord, so the thumb will now do, because we need to keep that rhythm going, yeah, that 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 E and a 2 E and it, whichever way you count it. That thumb is now going to do the D and the G strings, okay, so that's unusual, but because it's a 4-string chord and it's squashed into just 4 strings, so here I would actually revert to, it's going to be easier to, rather than think of 3 strings on those, 3 fingers on those top 3 strings, just go back to the normal and more simple traverse picking that we only use the first 2 fingers. They're going to be assigned to the first finger B string, 2nd finger top E string, and the thumb is going to go D string, G string, D string, G string, yeah? So this is the first bar of page 4, it's bar 49. So we've got a pluck, so that'll be with the thumb and 2nd finger. And then, I hope that's okay, and then we go to G, and then we're back to employing 3 fingers again. So we're going to pluck with thumb and 3rd finger. Now here, you've got this 2nd fret on the both E strings, bottom and top E string. 1 and 2 and 3 and quite easy timing. 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1. You saw how I was fretting that, so I've got my G. Now that's the easiest way I find to do it. Which was my third finger went to the top E string and my second finger was on the bottom E string. So 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Or I suppose you could go 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Maybe that's easier, just moving the third and fourth fingers down. Yeah, that could be easier. 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3 and 4. And when you get to the E minor, it's just an open string, so you just pluck with thumb and third finger. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Same rhythm. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And then we've got an A minor, second line of page 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. That same simple Travis picking pattern, rhythm. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and... Now, here, third bar of the second line on page 4. Now, this is where you'd actually want to pick, even though it's a D, yeah, even though it's a D chord, the thumb will pluck the open D string and the third finger will pluck the top E string. And the first finger will pluck the G string. So every rule that I've said has just been broken here. And that just, goes to show that there's no nothing set in stone. It's really about getting the sound you want to get, and what's the easiest way to do that. And on this third bar on the second line of page 4, which is bar 50? I can't see that. 55. We're going to pluck with the thumb and third finger for the first pluck, the D and top E string. The first finger is going to pluck the G string, second fret. Then we've got another pluck, and it's going to be the thumb and the second finger plucking the B string, so as if it was a 5-string or 6-string chord. And then the first finger is going to pluck the G string, second fret, and the thumb is going to pluck the open D string. And the timing: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Yeah. And then the next bar, simpler timing, but same fingers used in terms of the plucking. So we've got a pluck on the D and top E string at the beginning of the bar, which will do thumb and third finger. Then the first finger will pluck the G string, second fret, and then we've got a pluck again, D string and B string, third fret, and that will be with the thumb and second finger, and the first finger will pluck the G string, second fret. And then the outro is like the intro. We go up to 7th fret, which, remember, is in relation to the capo, so it's actually the 8th fret, and we've got... Now, we've just got that. The first bar is exactly the same, bar 57, third line down. That's exactly what we've done in the outro, in the intro. Then that bar, G6/D, the second line, the second bar on the third line, you've got, instead of that simple just pluck, single note, pluck, single note, we've got a cascade, a little arpeggio like we had somewhere before. So that's going to be a pluck with the thumb and the third finger, on the top E string. second finger is going to get that open B string, and first finger is going to get the G string, because we're back to these 3 fingers on the top 3 strings, yeah? And then the pluck on the D and B string will obviously be the thumb and second finger, middle finger. And then we've got the first finger plucking the last note, 7th fret of the G string. And then you've got that same cascade or same little arpeggio and same timing. 1 and 2, 1 and 2, and but this time instead of the G6 over D, you had an open top E string, and here you've got the second finger back on the top E string, 7th fret. And we've got 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And then you've got the G6 over the D, and once again the second finger comes off the top E string. So if I play that outro, the first we've got, I just went through the first 4 bars of the outro. If I just play it, so this is the 3rd line of page 4. And then on the last line now, almost there, 36 minutes, well, you'll be occupied. So last line, bar 61, first bar of the last line. Done that before. Yeah, so those 2 bars, bar 61 and 62, first 2 bars on the last line, exactly the same as the 2 bars above them, so we've done those. And then we're back to, on that 3rd bar of the last line, yeah, we're back to that D shape, which is the top 3 strings of an A-shaped bar chord. A-shaped bar chord at the 5th fret gives you the chord D. And yeah, so first finger on the E string, little finger on the, well, it depends what you want, little finger on the B string and 3rd finger on the G string, or 3rd finger on the B string and 2nd finger on the G string, whichever you find easier. So let's see. Yeah, I guess I do that, don't I? So there's an anchor finger between the D shape and this shape here, top part of a A-shape bar. And the anchor finger is the 3rd finger. When you're doing that D shape, your 3rd finger is on the B string. So when you go down to this shape for our D chord, you can take fingers 1 and 2 off, the 3rd finger can slide down 1 fret, and then the 1st finger can go on the 5th fret of the top E string, and the 2nd finger can go on the G string, and the same fret as the 3rd finger. And then we've got those open 2 strings again as he moves down to the G, and then as you can see we've got 3 strings plucked, so I'm going to pluck that with my thumb and 2nd and 3rd fingers. Right, we've come in at 38 minutes, 39 minutes by the time I stop talking. So I hope that's okay. I know it's a lot to get through. I would take it bit by bit and just note where you got to in this video, and then start it up again another time, you know, at that point, rather than going through the whole thing. So the first thing to get, yeah, I'd really advise just working on this 2 bars at a time, because like I said, the phrases tend to be in 2 bar chunks. That's not always the case, as in when you get that A minor, when you get that section, etc. But generally, like in the intro and the verse, yeah, that's just 1 bar, and you want that for a resolution. So I'd work on 2 bars at a time, and at the very first 2 bars, we just work on that until that's okay. because then, like I said, you've got so much of the rest of the song, because these bars or these patterns just keep repeating. So like the third bar is the same as the first, and the fourth bar, as I've said, is the same as the second bar minus one note. So instead of 2 plucks, you've just got the pluck at the beginning of the bar. Okay, I'll stop. 40 minutes. Okay guys, take care. See you soon.